Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Reselling Rhythms. In today's video live stream, I'm going to discuss with my guest a reselling business, which includes selling small appliance parts and women's clothing. She'll share her tips and strategies on how to make us more successful and profitable resellers. Every Wednesday, I have a live stream, and I typically interview another reseller, and I have them share their tips, tricks, and techniques to make us more knowledgeable and profitable resellers. If you're interested in becoming a reseller, then you are in the right place. Just going to pop in the chat and say hello to a few people, and then, as I like to say, we'll get this party started. I know Mike Flippin' Goody was in here early. I think Mike thought I was at 7 o'clock today, but we're at 8 o'clock. My guest is willing to accommodate me, so we moved the show back an hour. But anyway, Mike, if you're still in the chat, hello. Randy, hello. Sharon, hello, hello. Amelia, hello. And Beth is in the chat. Hello, hello. And Michelle, thank you for being here, Michelle. I hope you're feeling better. I know you had a little bit of a tough time last week. So anyway, like I said, I like to keep the people waiting that are watching the replay. So let me bring in my guest, and we shall get this party started. Hello, Miss Beth.
Hi, Adam. Hi, everyone in chat. Good to see you.
Since you're in a full screen, I shall put you on full screen, and you can tell the people who you are for those of the people that don't know you.
Okay, well, I'd like to thank you, Adam, for accommodating me and changing the time tonight. Adam knows my evening routine, so I needed to start a little bit later. Appreciate y'all coming in at a different time. My name is Beth. I live in Houston, and my YouTube channel is Reseller Rowboat. And I'm a part-time reseller on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari, and I'm currently closing my Amazon store. And I started selling around 2017 on eBay only. I have sold on Etsy, but I've closed my Etsy shop as well. I do have a full-time job. I work 3 days a week from home and 2 days a week in the office. So my time is very limited as far as listing and working on my online business. But I'm actually trying to grow my business so that when I retire in 10 to 12 years that I already have an established online business and I can just take off and run with it. And that's my hope. So I started selling on eBay because I have OCD. And I was writing a novel, and I was having trouble getting it finished. And so I quit writing the novel, and I had a lot of time on my hands, and I needed a place where I could do things like checking things off. And a friend of mine introduced me to online reselling, and I sold my first item, and I was hooked. So that's a little bit about me. Okay.
Just a couple quick things. You're in the Houston, Texas area.
Yes, right in the middle of Houston.
Okay. Right. So, we always discuss on the show, everyone has different opportunities depending upon where they are, where they source, et cetera, et cetera. But we're going to get into that a little bit in the show a little bit. So just like to get into a couple of different things here. You already discussed how you got into reselling. And you said once you discuss how you're in just eBay and Poshmark, you're closing your other stores?
Yeah, and I have Mercari as well, but I'm probably going to be closing that one pretty soon. I may leave some hard goods on there, but I'm taking most of my clothing down. I've been having trouble with Mercari not accepting all of my photos. I use Sizely for my measurements, and they keep taking my Sizely photos down because they're coming from a different file. And it's very difficult to sell clothing when you don't have the measurements in the listing. And I'm not willing to type the measurements out in the description because I already have them on my Sizely photo.
I see. So you put them in a Sizely so you don't have them typed in the description part.
I've written to Mercari many, many times. And even if I try to just go in and edit to change a price in Mercari, I lose about 3 photos. I only usually have 1 or 2 photos left. They haven't been able to fix that either.
Wow.
So I'm just getting a little bit fed up with it right now. So.
Okay, let's get into, guys, and again, eventually we're going to get into. You saw the title of the video is that Beth sells small appliance parts, and that's a large part of her business. But she also sells clothing, so we're going to discuss both of those. But once you get in a little bit about where you source and how you source.
Okay, so mainly I source at thrift shops in the Houston area. I don't do any garage sales because I don't like the getting in and out of the car. If I had a garage sale buddy, if there's anyone in Houston who'd like to do the driving or the navigating, I'd be glad to meet up with somebody and go garage selling, but I find it boring to do it by myself. I do like to go to garage sales that are a community garage sale where there's lots of things in one place and I only have to go to one place. I will do that. But in the Houston heat in the summer, I don't like getting in and out of the car. So, and I also go to the bins, but we do have the bins in Houston now, but the prices are super expensive compared to where I can go like to Austin or San Antonio. So I pretty much only go to the bins in Austin or San Antonio.
Okay, the vast majority of my viewers are experienced sellers, but for those of you that aren't experienced sellers, the bins is basically Goodwill's outlet store, where they basically put all their items in big bins and they roll them out on the floors, and it's like a feeding frenzy. The resellers and the people that want to get thrift things, they just run to the bins and start grabbing and pulling things out. So it's crazy. There's not a lot of videos because technically you're not supposed to film at the bins, but
and that's another reason why I don't go to the Houston bins, because I rarely ever find an appliance at the Houston bins. I don't really know why that is. And so what ends up happening is I stay there and I end up getting things that I really don't need. I'm really there to get parts, but then I stay there and I start getting other things and I need the parts, right? So, which is another thing we're going to be talking about, how I've been stressed about getting the appliances and listing every day in my parts store. So I have 2 eBay stores right now. One's a general store and one's an appliance parts store. So
okay, but you are going to be merging those stores, so we're going to talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that too.
Right. Okay. Do you source as well at estate sales?
No, I don't like estate sales.
Okay.
I always feel really sad when I go in.
Okay. Yeah.
I feel like I'm taking advantage, and I've gone to like 2 of them and I just couldn't take it.
Okay, I thought that might be an opportunity for appliances, but I guess
yeah.
if you feel...
Well, actually, when I went to those, I wasn't doing appliances at that time.
Okay,
so that's a good idea.
Well, you got to fish where the fish are, so I just figured that might be an opportunity. At estate sales, there might be opportunities to get some small appliances.
Yeah.
Okay. We said we're going to talk about pretty much like your process of how you do your reselling. We talked about your sourcing. We're going to get into your pricing, pictures, storage, and inventory. I guess, do you have a philosophy as far as your pricing?
Right now, we're just talking about the appliances, right? So what I do,
well, in general, we can talk about in general about everything.
In general, it's kind of a little bit different, but for the most part, I go to Terapeak and I type in the model and the part, and then whatever the average selling price is, having sold in the last year, I up it 30%. And then I always have a 10% off sale running at all times, and I take best offers. I charge shipping on my parts, except for the last month. I went to free shipping on my first class items because my sales were super, super slow. But I found that it did not give me any extra sales by going to free shipping. So as I'm moving those parts over to my general store, I'm putting shipping back on. So
how about on clothing? Do you offer free shipping on like first class?
No, I don't offer free shipping, but I do offer free returns, unless it's got a flaw. If it's got a flaw, I put, that it's a final sale.
Okay. And
because they need to read the description, which we know they don't do, right?
That's true. Do you offer free returns on your parts, or they're paid returns?
No, I did that for about 2 weeks, and I said never again, because they never read the model numbers.
Like you said, they don't read the model number.
And I'm not paying for it to come back simply because they didn't read the model number. And I have the model number written in about 5 places in the listing, and there's no reason that they look at a part and they say, oh, that looks like my part, even though the model number is different, it's probably going to fit. And then they get it and it doesn't. And I'm not paying shipping back on that. So I haven't done free returns on parts for 2 or 3 years now. So,
well, yeah, that makes sense. Because like I said, I see that with jeans, and the problem I have is a lot of times they don't like the jeans, or for whatever reason, and or they don't fit, and they'll say there's a flaw, they'll make up a flaw or something instead of just saying they don't fit.
I've been doing free returns on clothing for about 8 months, and I find I really typically get about 2 returns a month. Well, so I don't feel like that's bad.
No, that's not bad considering the volume you're doing.
Yeah.
And do you post your sales? Do you have them on and off when you're in your sales?
Yes, my sales run from Tuesday to Thursday, and then they run from Thursday to Sunday, and then Sunday to Tuesday. And I have them go off at 5 p.m. my time, because that's when I'm in there cooking and cleaning up and doing all of that. And so that's just a real good time for me to have no sales on, no notifications coming in. And then I always set my sales in advance. so that I don't have to be at the last minute putting my sales in. And I did a video on that.
Right.
And then promoted listings I run every day. And what I do is sometime during the day, I end my promoted listings for about 30 minutes and let everything regenerate. And then I start them again, because I find that my promoted listings get stale as well.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Now, I think you said you do recommended plus a certain percent. Is that what you've been doing?
What I've been doing is 1 point over trending.
Okay.
That's what I've been doing. So
and what's your experience been with
that? I have done in the past really super high promoted listings, and I was getting a lot of sales, but I was paying out the nose for it. So
that's the problem too. I mean, because you figure you're paying roughly 13% as it is with eBay between your final value fees and your managed payment fee, and they claim it's less than 2%, but whatever. And then whatever you add as far as promoted listings.
And then once you up your promoted listing, and I don't know if Sharon's ever done this, but if let's say you up your promoted listing to 20%, which I know that's high, but and you do that for a while, if you decide, oh, I think I want to go down to 10%, it takes quite a while for you to get sales at that 10%, because eBay's expecting you to put it at 20%. So it takes a while for that algorithm to get back. So once I had a really high percentage and I took it down, I took it way down. Oh, I didn't get sales for quite a while after that. It's just like anything. If you put everything on free shipping one day, it messes with everything. So if you're going to add free shipping, you just need to do it a little bit at a time. Not your whole
I didn't
store.
realize that it took a while for well, that's the other thing. I mentioned that when I did the little news show last week or week before, when I didn't have a guest, how there was an issue with impressions. eBay impressions are all screwed up the whole month of April for some reason. They're not going through properly. So even though you're paying for promoted listings, the people are said the impressions are way down. I mean, significantly down.
Well, Sharon, I know you didn't go to 20, but I'm just saying, like, if you're at 7% right now, and then one day you decided, well, I'm going to go down to 1% from now on, eBay's expecting you to do that 7% because you've been doing it all along. So it's going to take a while for your sales to get back. At least that's what I found.
Okay.
Lowering it, I should have lowered it a little bit at a time.
Gradually, incrementally.
And I didn't do that. And man, there for a while, it wasn't having hardly any sales. And do you want me to talk about what I'm doing now with the promoted listing?
I was going to roll into that next. Yep. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I'm doing an experiment, and I don't know. I think I heard this somewhere, but I have a lot of items on clearance. So normally my items are 10% on sale all the time. And then my clearance items are 30% off. And so what I thought, well, maybe I should just do everything at 10%, but on my clearance items, up my promoted listing on those percentage, and see, because a lot of reasons they're not selling is that clothing is very saturated. And so I thought, well, if I up my promoted listings on the clearance, maybe it'll push me closer to the top of search, and some of these clearance items will sell. So I just started that yesterday, so I don't know. I'm going to give it 2 weeks and see if I see an increase in sales, right? And whenever I do an experiment, I like to just do one experiment at a time, because that will help me decide, which one is working, right? So
that reminds me, I might as well mention it now, because I know we have people come and go throughout the portion of the show. Beth's store and her YouTube channel and her Instagram, et cetera, all in the description below. So Beth does a lot of videos on reselling. She does some what's sold, and she does some sourcing things, and she's doing some live hangouts, guys. If you're looking for a place to hang out when doing your listings, if you want the company, or you just play. Beth and Kelly have been doing some live hangouts, so that's something you guys might be interested in. So
yeah, I'm hoping to do another Buy It Now show this weekend, because I'm going sourcing tomorrow. So I've been doing Buy It Now videos that have been very successful. So hopefully, if I get some good stuff tomorrow, I'll do a Buy It Now video for you guys. Hopefully,
right. So what you're doing, you're finding those, and you're putting them on Buy It Now for your viewers, as opposed to listing, and then
right.
And if for whatever reason they don't sell, then you put them in your store.
I can sell them for a lot cheaper, because I haven't had to take photographs or do listing for anything.
Pay fees,
so I give my subscribers a discount for that.
Gotcha.
So hi, Leticia, if I didn't say hello to you. So anyway.
Okay.
And I also do bullet journaling. And I have bullet journaling videos as well. And I do have an appliance video playlist for you guys, because I've had people ask me that all the time. So I separated, and so there's just a playlist is specifically for parts.
Right. So if you go in the Beth, click on Beth's store, when you click on our store on our YouTube channel, you'll see a list of playlists of just appliance parts videos. So it makes it
so if
easier.
you just want to know
you
how
can
to
play them on a loop
photograph,
if you want. You can just continually.
if you just want to know how to photograph parts, for instance, there's a video for that. If you just want to know how to price parts, there's a video for that. So, I'm just kind of separated it. So.
Leticia, you got to subscribe to Adam's Exploits and all these different channels that I'm on. I got a Facebook group, Reselling Rhythms. I got Adam's Exploits personal business page. I'm just teasing you, but anyway, make sure you subscribe to one of them.
Love you, Leticia.
Okay, and then we talked before pre-chat about your storage system. You have like a certain storage system, the way you rack things up and organize things. And I know you've done videos where I remember when you were moving and at your old place, you built storage racks and you transferred them over here. It's like a storage and inventory system that I thought you could share a little bit about.
Yeah, and I don't have anything here to show you.
That's okay.
But I learned this from Thrifty Dad. So I have eyesight problems. And so whenever I package something up, I just copy and paste the title of the item from eBay. I pop it into my Dymo label and print it out. And I put the label on the bag. And it's really large. I can see it. And I've made fewer mistakes that way. I've also been told in feedback that it looks professional to have that big label on there. They know exactly what they're getting is what I'm telling them they're getting. And I do that on my parts as well. So my parts go in bread bags and then I slap that label on there straight from the eBay title.
So basically you pre-package as soon as you get something listed, you pre-package it and put it in your storage area. And whatever.
As long as it fit in the bread bag.
Right.
If it doesn't fit in a bread bag, then I've got shelves for those. I've got I've got 3 shelves of carafes right now, I think. 3 shelves. And so those obviously don't fit in a bread bag, but I tape the Dymo label on the carafes. I don't stick the Dymo label on the carafes, right? I just tape it with some Scotch tape so it can be taken off. But I leave the label on there when I ship it, so they know that I have found that in my inventory and sent it to them, that I know that that's what it is, right?
Right. Carol, glad you popped in. I made
Carol.
a note. I'm going to do the drawing for the tarot card reading. So you guys all knew that you had a comment prior and everything. If you watch the video, you know the instructions. So I'm going to do like a random comment picker, and we're going to do that. Bella's having some personal issues right now, so you might want to give her a week or two before you contact her. But what I'll do is I'll send her the information, and then I'm sure she'll be in touch with the winner. So you guys can just reach out to me via email, AdamsExploits@gmail.com, or on my business page, Adams Exploits on Facebook. Just tell me that you saw that you won, and then I'll send the information to Bella. Like I said, just give her a week or two because she's have some personal issues at home. So we know how that can be. So anyway, I'm going to do the drawing and join the show today. So there'll be a little break for Beth. So
awesome.
Take a couple minutes. Okay, so let's get in. We talked about all your. How about your photo? You said you were going to discuss a little bit about your photo process.
Okay, we're just talking appliance parts, right?
Yes.
Okay, appliance parts. Appliance parts, I photograph on a wooden dining room table. I used to photograph on white paper, but I take these items out of the dishwasher, and sometimes there'll be a water droplet in there, and then it would mess up my butcher paper. So I started putting it on the wooden table, and sometimes you can see my kitchen in the background.
Okay.
My wife was in one of them the other day.
Really?
She walked by when I took a photo, but anyway, if a water droplet drops on the table, I just take a rag and just wipe it real quick and go on. When you are selling appliance parts, it's very important that you take a photo of all the edges. So if it's a 4-sided, you take all 4 sides, just click, click, click. If it's curved, if it's like a food pusher or a cylinder, you still want to take a picture of all the edges, because that way a customer can't come back to you and say, that one side is cracked. See, you've got proof that you turned it. You could say that you took one photo, because they all look the same, but it just helps back you up with USPS and eBay. Then you take a picture from the top and you take a picture from the bottom, and make sure you take a picture of the inside. If there's a lid, you make sure you take a picture of it with the lid up and with the lid down. So I usually take between 6 and 7 photos of my parts, and they go super fast because I do it two-handed. I'm turning, click, turn, click, turn, click. I don't even have to put my camera down. I don't have to use 2 hands to turn it, just super fast. So I can do fixtures for like 5 machines in less than, 10, 15 minutes tops. It's super easy.
Up a little bit. What'd you say?
I said I can take photos of like 5 machines like in 10 minutes, 15 minutes tops.
Wow.
Yeah, because I just spin them and click, goes really fast.
That's great.
So,
well, I guess you have a routine down, so that's what helps.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what else here. Why don't you talk a little bit about we were going to discuss about how eBay has increased the number of free insertions and how you're closing down one of your stores, and why don't you get into that a little bit?
Right, because I had a premium store and I got to 1,700 items, and so I was paying $70 extra a month. So I split the store into 2 eBay stores at one time. I had a gift shop. I moved all my gift items over, so I had 2 eBay stores. So I was paying $59.99 a month instead of $70, right, for those extras. And then I was getting a $50 coupon for shipping supplies. So I was actually coming out ahead that way. Plus, then I moved my appliance parts to that store and made an actual appliance store because I wanted to be specialized and maybe grow a customer base and make it look a little bit more professional, like I knew what I was doing, and not mixing my appliance parts with my jeans and my plushes and my makeup. But now that eBay has changed premium stores from 1,000 to 10,000 insertions, I'm putting everything back in one store and I'm closing the parts store down, because now I don't have to pay that extra $59.99 a month.
Right.
I am losing my coupon, but I don't. It's the other reason, Adam, and we were talking about this privately, is I've had a lot of stress lately of trying to find appliances that I want to part out. I was actually even buying some appliances that I was paying more for than I normally would, just because I needed to put something in that store, right? Because you're supposed to list every day in your store. And I was out of machines. And so I'd pay like $13.99 for a machine I would normally pay, $10 for, simply because I needed something to list. So now that everything's going to be in one store, it doesn't matter if I have parts here, because I'll be listing jeans if I don't have parts. I'll be listing every day no matter what. So that's going to be beneficial for me.
Okay. And I was just going to mention, guys, if you weren't aware of it, I'm sure most of you were aware of it. I wasn't sure of the exact numbers, but the basic store went up from 250 buy it now listings to 1,000 buy it now free insertions. And then there's some additional categories like DVDs, books, records, et cetera, where you can get up to 10,000 insertions free. And then the premium store went from 1,000 to 10,000 free insertions. And the anchor store went from 3,000 to 25,000. So if you weren't aware of it, again, that's an opportunity, guys, for some of you. If you can't list on a regular basis, you guys know I mentioned Casey the Rockstar Flipper quite a bit. He talks continually about, if you're going to not list, you have to have some kind of activity. So what you can do is you can pull down your listings and and just make sure you sell similar, because when you sell similar, you get a new item ID. If you sell relist the item, you're going to get the same ID, and that's going to defeat the purpose. So you want to sell similar. That way it gives you some additional activity for every reason. If you can't list or you can't get enough listings up, who knows what the magic number is as far as the number of listings? Is it 10? Is it 5? Is it 15? I don't know.
Well, you might ask Craig, because I find that when I relist, it does give it a different number.
When you relist, you get a different number?
Mm-hmm.
You're not supposed to.
I have been, yes. John Jones has a good point. He just found out that eBay's letting folks downgrade their stores. He's going from a premium to a basic without a penalty if you do it by April 30th. And when I went to my parts store to see, what was up, if I could downgrade, I found out that my subscription ends on April 30th. So what I did was, to give myself time to move everything over, I said, okay, starting May 1st, I want it to be a basic store, but I want to pay monthly. I don't want to pay, the cheaper rate for the year. And I should have all of my parts moved over by the middle of May. And then when it's empty, then all I have to do is say, I want to cancel this subscription. So for 1 month, I'll probably pay that extra.
Right.
or, so I'm glad I went in and looked when I did,
Oh yeah, it was
because
perfect
I would
timing.
be
Yeah.
stuck in a year of, having
Yeah.
to pay for a store that I'm not going to use. Right.
Thanks, John. I wasn't aware
So,
that they were allowing you to do that. That's a good
yeah.
tip.
So we only have 2 more days to do that.
Yes. Yeah, the month is almost
So,
over.
hmm
It'll be May before you know it. And just so you know, Beth does videos on birthdays, and my birthday is on tax deadline time today this year. But it's been pushed back to May 17th at your
17th,
tax
isn't it?
deadline.
Yeah.
I'll probably be doing mine the 15th and 16th because Monday's the 17th. So I'll probably be doing it that weekend. I always wait to the last minute to do my income taxes. So anyway, so
That's
May
right.
17th is your new tax deadline for individual filers. I mean, some of you have businesses and things and you file on different times. So I know, Randy, you file at different times, and some people pay quarterly taxes, et cetera, et cetera. So, okay, so we talked about that. Why don't we get a little bit, first of all, I want to ask you why you got into selling small appliances, and how did you get involved in that? And how do you decide whether to, one quick other thing, how do you decide whether to part them out or sell them as a whole unit?
I've never sold a whole unit. I have arthritis, and so dealing with big, bulky things and bubble wrap and large boxes is just, I can't stand it. I was watching Pinching Pesos, Deb, and
Okay.
she was parting out a Keurig machine, and I was fascinated by it. And I went to a Goodwill, and I found 2 Keurig. Now, I'm going to talk about Keurig in a minute. Now, you got to remember, this is like 3 years ago.
Yes.
I found 2 Keurig machines, and I knew they were older models. And she's such a sweetheart. She was at a water park that day. She didn't even know me from Adam, but I knew from her social media that she was at a water park.
She never met me either.
And so I messaged her on Instagram, and I said, I found these 2 Keurigs, and this is what they cost. Should I get them? Not thinking she would ever answer me, right? And I knew they were going to go on sale on Saturday. So I got in my car, and I was almost home. And sure enough, she messaged me back. She says, turn around in your car and go back and get those machines. And so I waited till Saturday, and sure enough, they went on the color tag. This was at Goodwill. I bought them. And they were very difficult to take apart. I had to watch a YouTube video on how to take the back off. And I parted them out, and I was just hooked. And I never thought I would ever want to do something like that. Now, back then, I was getting screwdrivers, and I was getting into the guts of the machine and pulling out pumps and cords and stuff like that. I don't do that anymore. I just can't deal with all those little pieces with my hands. So I only pull off what I can get off, very quickly. The most I'll use is a pair of needle nose pliers to pull the feet off of the bottoms of machines. I do sell the feet, believe it or not.
Now, you told me they're very, 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 very long tail, but they do sell.
Yeah, they do sell. Like, I usually sell, sometimes I'll sell 3 packs a month. Sometimes I'll sell 1 pack a month. But they, I have a whole box of them. They're not taking up any space. They're just in a little box. And I'm not going to let them sit there, take them out to the trash. And I usually ruin one of them, so I don't ever sell 4 at a time. I usually sell 2 or 3 at a time, and they usually go for like $7.99 and $3.99 shipping. I mean, it's not a lot of money, but
people need them. Yeah. What's your cost? Couple pennies?
Instead of taking a stick notepad and just putting it on their food processor, they're going to pay the money for a foot. So
think about it when you're buying at the bins. What's your cost on 4 feet? 3 cents, 2 cents?
Well, I don't get the feet at the bins though, because I don't take pliers with me, because I only have 4 pockets, and I have something that goes in each pocket, and I don't want to accidentally pull my pliers out.
You don't get the base when you go to the bins. That's right.
No, the base weighs too much. And I lost my phone at the bins one time. One of my very first times to go, I threw my phone in the bin when I had some books that I didn't want. Okay. And I looked down, and I couldn't find my phone, and I didn't know how to get home. I was in a strange town.
Oh my God.
And so I found somebody, and they let me call my phone, and somebody on the other side of the bin store waved, and they had my phone. And I was so lucky. And I was thinking, they're going to take it home, and they're going to try to sell my phone.
Thanks for sharing with us.
Yeah. And so ever since that happened, and I wasn't even like, my wife's going to be so upset I have to buy a new phone. No, it was, I don't know how to get home. I'm not in Houston. That was all I cared about.
You're using that for your navigation to get home.
Yeah. And so that was what I was concerned about, was how was I going to get home? And so ever since then, I've been very picky about everything goes in a pocket. I have one for my phone, one for my charger, one for my credit card, one for my keys, and that's it. And I don't, so pliers, but I do see people with screwdrivers. I see people there with batteries. They
Oh, really?
take things
Okay, well,
apart and
that's a
put
good tip.
batteries in
Well, I
them.
say that for people that are thrifting at regular stores,
Yeah,
have batteries and different things in your
yeah.
car, like a little
Mhm.
kit, reseller kit. I tell people make sure you have like some kind of jewelry loop or magnifying glass. And I won't show it this time. I just showed it last week. You can triple tap on your iPhone and it becomes a magnifier.
Yeah,
Excuse
and
me.
when I first thought about sourcing at the bins, I thought I was going to get in trouble for taking these appliances apart. Nobody ever has said anything to me about it. So,
We
I take
stop you for
toaster
a second.
racks out of toaster ovens. I take plates out of microwaves and the little spinner ring. I sell those. I take the bread machine, what do you call it? The pan, and sometimes
Okay.
there's a paddle in there. Um, anything that I can actually pull off and it's not too heavy, I'll take it home with me. So,
And they don't have a problem with that at the bins.
no, because you just put it in your bags and they don't even really see what's in your bags anyway. They don't really, you know.
Do you
So,
use the reseller or the big IKEA bags that we use?
yes. Mhm.
Okay.
And I have a video on how to source for the bins, how to keep them so that when you get home and you have 40 parts, you know which machine they go to. I have a system with that. So, every once in a while I'll have a part that I don't know where the heck it goes, but very rarely.
Right.
So,
Yeah, so that's opportunity, guys. I'm not a big fan of the bins, but I mean, if you can just pull out parts, you don't have to pay for the whole appliance. And how do they do that with appliances? Do they charge differently at the bins? I don't remember how they do that.
no, it's the same, but
The same. I know a lot of times
it's
with
like a
my bins,
dollar
they'll
more
pull it
in
out and put it on a separate
Houston.
shelf.
It's $1 more in Houston than it
Okay.
is where I go. So that's why I don't shop at the Houston bins anymore because I don't find appliances
You don't
anyway.
find appliances there.
So, yeah. I like the way they organize the bins better at
Gotcha.
in Houston. It's much more civil. There's no starting line in Houston, which is
Oh,
great
really?
because
They
people
don't
don't
have like
run.
the race to the
No,
bins?
they don't run or anything. There's no starting line. And when you walk in, they have a blinking light, and that blinking light means that this is the row that we're getting ready to take away. And they do it in
Oh, that's
order.
good.
They have 11 lanes. They go in order.
How about
So when
that?
you walk in the store, well, I better check that row before I check anything else because they're
Because you'll be
getting
putting
ready to
away
take this
soon.
row away. And
Right.
then
Right.
the row next to it was fresh stuff. So then you want to start there next, right? Because that's fresh stuff. And I like the way they do that.
That's
And
great.
instead of a starting line, what they do is you just stand in front of the bin that you want to go through. You have to have your hands off, and while they're pulling them out, everybody just stands in front of the bin they want, and then they say go. So you
Okay.
don't have to run down the
You don't
aisle.
have to worry about getting trampled on your way to the bins.
No, because I'm not aggressive. So what I do is I stand in the back where the bins are coming from, and I just watch as they go by. And if I see something I want, I just kind of follow the bin down to the end. And I just kind of watch to see which bin I want to stand in front of, so before it stops. So I like the way they do it there, but their prices are just way too high. Just way too high. When I first started going to the Houston bins, they were charging 99 cents a book, Adam. 99 cents a book.
Wow.
And it's 5 for $1 in Austin. And I went up and told them, I said, you guys are just like crazy about these books, And then they finally took their book prices down after about 6 months. I think they figured it out.
Let me interrupt you for 1 second. Bella is in the chat. I talked about the tarot card reading. So we were going to get into the bolos and the nolos with you. So when I just take about a 1 minute break, I'm going to do the drawing for the tarot card reading since Bella is actually in the chat.
You want to take me off camera?
No, I don't have to.
Okay.
I'm going to share a screen. So that's what I'll do. So let me do a share screen. Okay. And we'll do Chrome Tabs, and we'll do YouTube random comment picker. Okay. Okay, guys, I don't have my phone. You can tell me, Beth, because I don't have my phone on the video. Is it showing the random comment picker?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good. I figured it was, but okay, guys. So you know I'm legit. I am legit. So you know I'm going to do it live here. And these were from the comments. And basically, what you had to do, you had to leave a comment on my video, and you had to subscribe to Belladonna's Instagram. So again, give Bella some time to get back to you, but we're gonna choose someone today for the free tarot card reading. You just have to reach out to me via either my business Facebook page, AdamsExploits. I just want to know that you got the information, or also you can send me an email at AdamsExploits@gmail.com. So then I'll reach out to Bella and let her know who won. So looks like we got it all set here. Enter your video share, et cetera, et cetera. And now we're going to get our comments. All right, we just have 6 unique comments, guys. So this is going to be a small drawing here. Let's see what happens. The winner is eBay Addicts.
Congratulations.
So eBay Addicts is a loyal viewer of the show. I appreciate it. So again, eBay Addicts, just reach out to me via either my business Facebook page, which is AdamsExploits, or you can send me an email at AdamsExploits@gmail.com. Again, congratulations.
Woohoo.
All right, so let me stop doing that, and we'll get out of that, and then we will go into the bolos and nolos. Okay, so guys, we're going to get into bolos and nolos. So I'm going to give you a real quick lesson. Back in the 70s, police or law enforcement people used to have a term called, used to be APB, All Points Bulletin. And then they changed it to be on the lookout for, or BOLO. So as resellers, we adopted that and was like, be on the lookout for. So these are basically high items that we should be on the lookout for that are high profit items for us. And Beth and I were discussing small appliance parts, and we decided that we're going to do, I came up with the name NOLOs. She said things not to buy. So I'm going to call them not to be on the lookout for. So Beth is going to share with us some hot things. And again, like anything, I discussed, I always talk about women's jeans, guys. You know, that's an issue I have with my selling women's jeans. Beth does very well with them. And we're going to get a little bit into that in a little bit too, about how Beth sells her jeans. But anyway, I have all the old fashioned styles that aren't selling. But anyway, so, you know, certain styles sell better than others. And when I had Megan Mawini on, she discussed the styles that sell. I have all the ones that don't sell. So like Beth said, back in the day, the Keurig coffee makers used to sell really well. Now, not so much. So Beth's going to get into and share with us the things that sell well and the things that don't sell so well. So
yeah, do we want to start with? Let's just start with the NOLOs first, okay? Let's just get that out of the way. Absolutely. So Keurig machines, just like from the home, I know you guys are seeing these everywhere at the thrift shops. I get this question all the time: should I part this Keurig out? No, don't pay money for it. If someone gives you a Keurig, go for it. But when I first started selling Keurig parts, I was getting $17.99 for the water reservoir tank, sometimes even without the lid. Now I can't even get rid of them for anything. I have like 6 of them on my, they're taking up space and they're just saturated. You know, but like anything, you could hang on to it if you have the space. Maybe eventually they won't be so saturated. There is one machine. It's a, well, they may have several, but their Cuisinart Keurig together has come together to make a machine. Those do sell for me. So if you see the word Cuisinart on the Keurig, go ahead and get that one. Also, commercial Keurigs, the real big monster ones that people have in their office, I would buy one of those in a minute because I think those would probably be really good to part out. Another thing that's a no-lo right now for me is an ice cream maker and a yogurt maker. I used to sell ice cream makers like crazy, and I'm going to share this one if it's okay, Adam. First. Oh, why is it doing that? It did that this afternoon too. Stop sharing. I have to do it one more. It seems like I have to do it twice sometimes for it to stop doing that. Is it sharing?
That looks better. Yep.
Okay, so it's a Cuisinart ICE 20. They also have an ICE 45. I was selling these like hotcakes, and the paddle will probably still sell, the one that moves the ice cream around. but you're not going to get that much for it. So I would say ice cream makers, I would keep them for a year because I think, well, summer's coming up. They're going to start selling again. They just stopped. I see these in the stores constantly. Don't get these, guys. They're, they're not money makers. Also, a lot of my rice steamers and food steamers aren't selling right now, especially Hamilton Beach. There is one steamer that I'm out of that is kind of round, and I will probably, if I see that, I'll pick it up. But all the oblong ones, the ones that stack, I would stay away from those as well. And cookie shooters. Cookie shooter parts are no longer selling well for me. If you have a cookie shooter, I would sell it all together in one shot with all the accessories. And that would be fine for me because a cookie shooter is not very big.
Yeah,
so
it's
I
kind of small. How much do they retail for on eBay?
I don't know, but I was selling like all the individual little discs and, different things that they had, the little nozzles. They've slowed down a lot for me. So, if I have enough, I might be able to put them together and make one salad shooter and sell it together. I don't know. But, I would just sell them together. And the reason I'm saying all of this is because some people tell me they want to start selling parts. And you're not going to make a lot of money if you're just thinking you're going to buy one machine. You see this Mr. Coffee, you want to part it out. You're like, oh, I'm going to make some money. Well, parts are extremely long tail for the most part. The reason I make money at it is I have almost 600 parts. I have 6 shelves devoted to parts. So something's usually selling, during the week at least. So that's why I want to show you some of the things that have gotten good money for recently. Those are the things, if you just want to sell a few parts, these are the kind of things that you want to look for. So, and I'll tell you how much I got for them. And then, so if you can put that one up. So
Yep.
This is a Cloer Tivana tea maker. What do you call it? A carafe for a tea maker. And this one just sold last week. It sold for, I took a $45 best offer and they paid $61.24 total with the shipping, but the shipping didn't cost as much as they paid. So I made money on the shipping on that one. I have this little check sheet. I'm just going to check this off so I don't do that one again. All right.
Let me interrupt you for 1 second. Randy had a question about commercial parts. Beth had told me pre-show that the Keurig commercial coffee makers sell well, Randy, but not
I would
the
buy
residential
one
ones,
because I don't see as many of those parts out there.
right? But
Like my boss has a really monster one in the office.
You typically don't find commercial appliances though at the bins and
no,
stores.
But somebody might, some office might decide that they want to get rid of theirs.
Yep.
Okay, now this is a Cuisinart food processor pusher sleeve. Unfortunately, this one did get damaged in the shipment. I kind of question it because it was packaged very well. I have a feeling that the customer busted it and sent it back because it doesn't look broken there and it was well packaged. But anyway, they spent $26.99 and with shipping, it was $32.99. That's just one part of this machine. So I paid under $10 for this machine, and I've already more than doubled my money on one piece. And typically a food processor is going to have 5 to 7, even 8 parts. Okay, this is another one that was this was a Cuisinart lid for a food processor. I took a bust offer of $30 because it was on sale for $31.49, so they offered me $30, and total they spent $41.10. And I like to look for things like this because see how this is so different over here, Adam?
Yeah. Yes.
On the side, it doesn't look like your typical food processor.
No, not at all.
So when I saw that, I was like, I'm gonna grab it, right? Okay, this little filter basket right here off a Black & Decker Mill and Brew. Anything that you see, any kind of coffee maker that says grind or brew or mill, those are good sellers. And this one sold for $29.44, and the total they paid $31.50 shipping. And this one I think was just a little over a pound. So, oh no, it wouldn't have been. It would have been free shipping. So I'm not sure why they paid so much. It must have been tax.
Okay.
$29.44 and they paid $31.50. It must have been
Yeah,
tax.
probably tax. Yeah.
I found this at the bins. It's a Javalia thermal carafe. So it probably weighed about between 2 and 3 pounds. So I probably paid about $3, $3.50 for it in Austin. And that one sold for $35.80.
Wow.
Together.
That's
Sold for
tremendous.
$23. They sent me a best offer for $23. You can see it was on sale there.
Right.
And then they spent $35.80 total.
So you made a good $15 profit after fees and everything.
Yeah, and then I made some on the shipping because I do calculate.
So you might have made $20 all
especially if they now see the price of shipping you're seeing is if it was shipped to me in Houston.
Right.
So they did not pay $9.05 because to go from 23 to 35, they paid $12 shipping.
Right.
So, and it didn't cost me $12 shipping to send, especially it depends on where they live actually. So there's that one I was going to show you. Right. Okay. This Ronco door sold for $40.49. I didn't even take a best offer. They just paid it. And then altogether they paid $60.02. This is one of the first things that will sell off of the Ronco.
Yeah. A quick question for you. I know what Ronco, the rotisserie ovens are. What do they retail for?
I have no idea.
But the door alone sold for $40.
Right. Wow. And what I do to ship this is I wrap it all in large bubble wrap several times, and then I get like a 20 by 12 by 10 box and I flatten it, and then I just tape it all around. So it just looks like a big flat box with a hump in the middle.
Okay.
And that's how I ship them. Then this next one, we're going to talk about Roncos too. Here's another one. This Ronco basket sold for $19.99, but they must have lived far away because they spent $36.81. Wow. So they must have lived on a separate side of the country.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's see. And then this other one here. This is the first thing that usually sells for me. This is the spit rod and the gears. And it sold for $42.29. In total, they spent $58.33. I spent $9.50 on this machine.
Wow.
So between this one and the door and the basket, I've already probably quadrupled or,
easy.
My money, more than that. Yeah, more than that, way more than that. And I still have a couple of pieces left to sell on it. So, and then this last one here is one you and I have always talked about. This is called a bean grinder or bean hopper with lid. This is the first thing that will sell off of your grinder brew. They paid $31.49 for this little piece, and total they spent $40.14. Just for that little piece.
That's crazy.
I have one still for sale, and then I have a machine sitting behind me right now that I'm needing to part out. So anyway, those are the kinds of things that you need to be looking for. And unusual brands.
Any other unusual brands that you can think of off the top of your head, or?
No, because I wouldn't remember them because they're unusual. No, I don't. But I look for things that I don't. I was in a thrift store yesterday and I saw this chopper and had all these blades, but they wanted $10 for it. Okay. And I didn't recognize the name, and I didn't have my phone in the car in the store with me. It was in my car. And so I was going to go home and look it up. And if it's worth anything, I'm going to go back and grab it. But $10 is a lot for a blade, something like that slicer. But you never know; it might be worth something. So,
did you bring in any of the other appliances, or you don't have them with you now?
Yeah, I did. I just don't want to strangle myself. Hold on a second.
We're just going to show you a couple appliances real quick, guys, to just show you how quickly they can be ported out.
And if they have any questions.
Yeah, any questions, yes. And then we're going to discuss this for a few minutes, Beth's clothing portion of her store as well.
I guess I should maybe do this, maybe. Okay, and I need to get the chat away because it's in
Okay.
the way. Okay, so this is a Ronco 5000. I paid $9.50 for it. So the door is going to pop off real easy.
Okay.
I don't like it's it's already coming off.
Wow.
So
Okay.
all you do is just pop it off.
How about that? Wow. You don't
And
even need tools for that.
the only thing about it is it's going to be very greasy.
Okay.
And I'm afraid that I'm going to
Don't worry about that.
strangle myself. But anyway, it
I don't want to
pops
get grease
off.
all over you.
Yeah.
Obviously, you want to put a towel down, or like a bath towel, an old bath towel, or beach towel.
So let's see what we have in here, okay? So we have the gear spit rod. I just put all these in the dishwasher.
Okay.
Including the door.
Including the door, okay.
Yeah, I'm just afraid the door's going to fall off and then
Right.
it's going to break because it's glass. Okay, then we have a basket.
That's the basket, okay.
And it's got a lid. All right, and be sure you measure the basket because they have different baskets.
Okay.
This is, I didn't know what this was for at the beginning, but what they do is they take the gear, the spit rod, turn it sideways and sit it on your counter.
Oh, so like when you want to like carve it?
Yes, this is just to sit on your counter and turn the spit rod.
You don't even leave that in there when you're doing the chicken. You just use that to carve it.
Right.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
It's interesting. I had no idea.
Okay, here's another basket. This one's a square basket. So if you get one with 2 baskets, that's great. That's more money. A lot of times they only have 1 basket in there.
Okay.
Sometimes they'll have a pair of gloves. They look terrible. Don't throw them away. Put them in the dishwasher. I probably made $30 on a pair of gloves. They're very
expensive. As much grease as off as you can and just resell them. That's people are used to them being looking like that.
And then you've got the pan with the cover, and I sell these together. Okay, and they don't care that there's marks on them or stains. They'll buy them anyway because they fit perfectly.
Right.
I'm getting ready to lose these. Hold on a second. I can just see this door coming off, and I know you can't see in the back, but there's well, maybe you can. Right there is a shield.
Yes.
I try to take that out too. Sometimes I'm successful, sometimes I'm not.
Okay.
Also, sometimes if you're really lucky, there'll be skewers in here. Sell the skewers as well.
Okay.
So altogether, right now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the door is 6 pieces for $9.50.
Wow.
So
like you said, the door alone is worth $40.
This is the last one that will sell because a lot of people don't even know what the heck this is. Right. They don't even know that this would even be an option, right?
So I would say you probably get $100, $125 in parts out of there, right?
Oh, easy.
Easy? Yeah.
Easy, yeah. So, also, if you see a Margaritaville machine, you need to grab that because that's got like 15 parts, and I made over $350 on mine selling the parts.
That's incredible.
Any kind of mixer that's got accessories like beaters, dough blades, things like that, people lose those when they move. They may lose one beater, Right. Another thing I was going to tell you is, like, let's say that you have 2 beaters. I take pictures of the 2 beaters, and then I also take pictures of 1 beater. That way, if someone says, oh, I just need 1 beater, I'll sell it to them, and then I just go back into my pictures and I upload the pictures with the 1 beater and just make a new listing real quick, and then I can still sell. Then you don't have to go get it out of your inventory, rephotograph.
Right. So
I do sometimes split up items for people, but very rarely. So, okay, now this is just a, whoops. All right, I mean, this is straight out of the thrift store. It's still got tape on it. I don't clean the tape off. I don't have patience for that. I just have a disclaimer in my store that there's going to be tape residue. I have run so many machines by trying to get the tape residue off with lighter fluid and Goo Gone and all kinds of different things. I finally just gave up. It makes the plastic and the glass cloudy sometimes. So I just leave it up to the person to clean the sticky stuff off. Like I said, I run it through the dishwasher, but I'm not going to sit there and scrape and put all these chemicals on it, because if it's cloudy, it won't sell. So all I'm going to get off of this machine, unfortunately, is the carafe, and then there is a filter in here, and then I will also take the feet off of the base. So I'll get 3 pieces, but I'm lucky for me, I only spent about $7 on this machine, so I didn't invest a lot in it. Now, this looks like a newer, probably between $15 and $25. It just depends on the model. Now, this looks like a different machine than me, so I may look up the base. I don't have a lot of space to save to store bases, but if I think that if I see on Terapeak that it's sold in the last year, sometimes I'll go ahead and list it, and so I won't take the feet off. In fact, this one only has 2 feet in the front, so it may be only supposed to, I don't know. But so that just determines to me if I'm going to sell the base. If I look and nobody's sold any, and or they've sold really dirt cheap, I go ahead and chunk them, take the feet off and chunk the base, because I'd rather fill up my shelves with other things that are going to sell faster than I don't have to. And then the last one, this one is a grind and brew, but it is a DGB 600, and they have all different models. I have a DGB 500, 550. I have 600 white. Oh, hold on a second. Adam, sorry, I got to do something real quick.
No problem.
My wife, hold on.
So Beth will be back very shortly. We're just going to discuss a little bit about her clothing business. I know some of you were clothing sellers in the chat. So
sorry
Beth's
about that.
Show us that last unit, and then we'll discuss her clothing business.
Sorry about that. I had to turn the light on.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I'm talking so much, but okay. So this is a grind and brew. I paid under $10 for this. This is the one that you have probably, or similar to it.
Yes.
But I like this one because it's a different number than what I have right now. So that gives me more options. The lid is black. The one that I have for sale right now is white. It came off of a 600W. W stands for white.
Right.
So now I'll have an option for someone to get a black lid, right?
Okay.
People crack this right here on top, so the lids do pop off.
Right.
And then here's the old bean grinder. So we saw how much I made on that other one, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So if I have one of these listed already, then I'll go ahead and list these separately, so that they have a choice of buying the bottom, the top, or both.
Right.
But because I only have one of these, I'll keep them together. Then on the side, there should be a little button. I don't know if it'll let me open it up, but when you open it up, it's not going to let me because the craft is in there. Anyway, inside this door, there's a button here.
Okay.
When you pop it open, there's a filter in there, a black filter, and then there's also a mesh filter.
Okay.
So that's 1, 2, 3. The lid is 4. This is 5. And if I don't sell the base, which I probably don't, I'm going to take the feet off.
Okay. Okay.
So, and these stainless steel ones.
What is that brand again?
This is Cuisinart.
That's Cuisinart, okay.
Mm-hmm. Grind and brew.
Right.
So, and there's another part too I forgot about. You stick your hand down in here, and you pull this out. So that's, how many is that now? 8?
Yeah.
This is the charcoal filter holder. They don't sell for much.
They don't sell for much, okay.
I list them for $7.99, $3.99 shipping, and I usually take $5 for them.
Okay.
But anyway, so that's like 7 parts for like $8 I spent.
Yeah, that's not there.
So, but the bean grinder will sell first.
Okay.
It always does. Okay. Any other questions? Sorry.
I didn't see any questions. Sharon had to leave. She's got a tornado coming her way.
Oh my gosh. Be careful, Sharon.
Absolutely. So let's just talk about your clothing store just momentarily.
Okay.
I want to discuss that a little bit and throw the people that are clothing sellers in the chat.
Hi, Virginia. So what would you like me to talk about on my
You
clothing?
said
Like
you saw a lot of, I guess, more like pants. You said you want to become the next Megan Mulwiney. You're telling me.
yeah, I kind of joke about that. The difference between me and Megan Moini is I like to sell a lot of plus sizes, and I like to sell a lot of tunics. So I like to sell a lot of brands like Catherine's, Avenue, Coldwater Creek, Dress Barn, things like that. When I go sourcing and look for tops, I don't just buy a plain red top. It's got to have something special about it.
I almost bought some
And
tops that were plus sizes in an auction today. It's like, Adam,
mhm,
no.
mhm,
They were all three. They were all 2X's, and they were different designs and things. I'm thinking,
mhm.
okay, but then when they got up like $10, I figured it was $10, but another $10 shipping. So I'm not gonna pay $7 a unit. So
And Thrifty Dad is going to kill me, but I love to sell Levi's. I love them.
Levi's still sell
He,
well.
he he does not like Levi's. I love selling Levi's. I sell them
Megan
all the
said Levi's
time.
still sell. She told me,
Yeah. And boot
and
cuts.
Wranglers of all things sell. Wranglers sell well.
Wranglers, I have never taken the chance on, and I have
Okay, I
tons of
wouldn't think Wranglers
Wranglers
sell
in
well, but
my
they do.
store. I have tons of Wranglers in my store. Maybe I need to do some research before I go sourcing tomorrow, because every time I go, I
Do some
see
research.
Wranglers. And they're always at our bins too. Wrangler, every time you go, Wrangler, Wrangler, Wrangler. Not, I love to sell Levi's 550 men's,
Yes.
like 38 and up. I'll do 36 and
Absolutely,
up.
38 and up. Yeah, us men are getting larger these days.
I'm selling boot cut. I know Megan says
I
not to
can't
get
give away
boot
my future,
cut,
but they're all
but
women.
I'm
So
selling boot cuts right now, and anything's selling for me right now. Straight leg, flare. There are a lot of people out there who don't dress with the trending trends. I'm one of those. I just dress with what I like. So, but I typically on my jeans like to be size 10 and up, and I sell Woman Within. I know that's a brand that's probably really, down there, but I get like 34 W's.
okay.
Those are big jeans, and people don't want to go out and shop in the stores when they're wearing a 34W. They're not out there in the malls,
I
right?
bought some men's shorts. I got them for $1. I have a clothing store, like a discount clothing store, and they're like size 56 and 60.
Yeah.
And I know myself being a big guy, I like shopping for clothes because I'm a thrifter. But I kept passing them. It was like, man, you dummy, these are $1. And big guys don't like shopping for clothes. So I'm going to put them out there for like $20, $21, $22, including free shipping.
Mm-hmm.
They were the king size or whatever that new men's store is. Like they keep changing the name of it.
Did
But they were
sell?
like $40 in the store.
Did they sell?
No, I haven't listed them yet.
Oh,
I think I have 3 pair.
Gotta list them.
But they're like $40 retail. So I'll sell them for like $21 or $22 free shipping.
Yeah. So I love selling plus size clothes because I'm a plus size person, and I think to myself, would I wear that? If I would wear it, I usually buy it. And then I go the other extreme. No, hell no, I would never wear that. I usually buy it. If it's anywhere in between, I don't buy it. Because ugly sells, guys. And so those are my two things. I don't go for a lot of like that. No, I do when you go to Walmart in the women's plus section, it's all this loud floral stuff.
Right.
I don't go for that. But other than that, I buy it.
That's what sells.
So yeah.
Okay, guys.
I have room to expand my clothing, so that's my goal this year, is expand my clothing.
There you go. Like you said, now since you're closing the parts store down, you can combine things. You can list things on a regular basis, whether it be clothing or parts, or you always have activity in your store.
And I can be more picky about the parts that I buy.
Yes. Guys, I just want to say, like I usually say, your time is your most valuable asset. I appreciate Beth taking her time and spending with us and sharing her knowledge. And I appreciate all of you in the chat and the people that watch the replay for spending your time with us. I appreciate you. And again, I have takes time and money, and I buy equipment, et cetera, for this channel. So if you're feeling generous, I have buy me a coffee, Cash App, et cetera, in the description below. So I want to thank you all for being here, and we shall see you next week. Thanks all.
Bye.